All right, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. And this week, well, we're talking about a flat tire problem a lot of people run into in the summertime. But before we get into today's video, if you are new to the channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure you hit that bell icon right next to that. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss any of this awesome cycling content on this channel. So like I said, so behind me, we got my daughter's bike, her Specialized Hot Rock 20, and well, we got a flat tire on the back. Now, you might be like, oh, it's a kid's flat tire. It's got to be from like a Thorn or something like that. I don't think that's the case. So, we rode our bikes to and from school yesterday. No real issue. She rode around in a cul-de-sac with a friend for a while. No issues with that. And then all of a sudden we got home. And all I heard was, psh, psh, and that's it. And so I don't think it's a Thorn. I think it's a similar problem to what we had on the front wheel at Sea Otter last year. So we're gonna pull this off, and this is a very common problem, I feel like, when, especially as the weather warms up and your bike sits in the sun. So I've had this problem a couple times. I'm gonna take this off, and I'll show you what exactly happened and then how you can solve this problem if it happens to you. So what exactly am I talking about? So generally you're gonna have your tire filled up, right? We filled up, you're gonna go park it somewhere, whether that's bike rack, your house, whatever that is. Then all of a sudden it's going to get warm and the sun's going to start beating down on that tire. Now what happens to air when it heats up? Well, it tends to expand, right? So when the air expands, your tube expands. Along with that, the tube gets pretty warm and pretty flexible trying to get around things. So what happens is, as your tube inflates, it then pops itself. And that's for a lot of people confused. They're like, why did my tube pop? Like, what is going on? Why did my tire pop? And so you put a new tube in, and it does the same thing the next day. And you go, what is going on? What is happening with my bike? And it starts to drive you insane. So what happens is that tube expands in there. And what is in your tire? What is in the wheel that's kind of sharp, that's not a Thorn or anything, that could potentially puncture your tube? And really, that is going to be all the spoke nipples. So you have this little rim strip that goes around the inside of the rim all the way. And honestly, they're pretty thin most of the time. They're made of rubber. And, over time, they degrade. And what that does is protect, essentially, your tube from getting poked by these metal nipples on the end of your spokes. So a lot of times, you'll pull your tube off. You'll find your puncture where, in this case, it's on the inside. And you're kind of like, what the heck would have punctured on the inside? It's a spoke nipple. And that's kind of a common thing if you leave your bike in the sun or it sits on a bike rack and gets hit with the sun in the afternoon. And you come out and keep getting the flat tire. It's puncturing itself is pretty much what it's doing. You're not running over anything. You're not causing the problem. It's the wheel and tube itself that just like to puncture themselves. So how do you fix this? What do you solve for this? So really just kind of go, look, what's the problem? The problem is your rim strip isn't protecting your tube from getting punctured by the spoke nipples. So pretty much this rubber guy right here is your culprit. So a couple ways you can go about this. You can always go buy a new one. And, you can buy another same size you have, buy a brand new rim strip. Is it going to solve your problem? Good. It could. But eventually it's going to do the same thing, degrade, and then it's going to cause a puncture again, right? So, that's a possibility. They do make rim strips that are not rubber. They make some fabric ones, which are really nice. Or if you're kind of a do-it-yourself guy, you want to do it yourself and fix it with what you have in your garage, well, you get something like Gorilla Tape. These little rolls of Gorilla Tape or duct tape. And you're going to run a new rim strip around the inside of the wheel. And this stuff is plenty thick to provide that protection you need so that's not going to puncture into the inner tube. We've done this on the front tire of this bike. Figured the rear tire was coming someday. So that's what we're going to do. So these are the mini rolls of Gorilla Tape. They end up being like pretty close to the perfect width for most wheels, which makes it really, really nice. So pretty much what we're going to do, make sure the inside of your wheel is relatively clean. Oh, and see, there's our problem right there. You guys can see? There's where our rim strip tore. And it got stuck to the bottom. So there is what caused our issue. Right there. That little piece of an old rim strip, actually. That rim strip looks good. That's the old rim strip someone put in there, had been left there, and that's what caused our problem. So, there you go. So, pretty much what we're going to do, we're going to get our like I said, make sure it's relatively cleaned out. We're not running tubeless or anything here, so don't have to be super precise, but you need to be clean enough that, you know, the tape's going to stick. And pretty much we're just going to tape this just like you would a tubeless wheel. So you're going to start just before the valve stem and kind of shove that in there. Make sure it sits all the way into the channel, just like that. And then we're just going to run this guy around the inside of the wheel. All right, it's got it fully taped. In my case, I ran out of the black, so no big deal. We just swapped over to a different color, and you got black and white on the inside of here. Again, we're not looking for a seal, right? We're just looking for a layer of protection is really what we're looking for. So once you have that in there, pretty much all you got to do is find your valve stem. I do like to go over the valve stem with 2 layers. Just makes it feel a little bit better, in my opinion. Just adds a little bit of extra security that's not going to come off. So you just got to find where that is. Kind of make an X over the valve stem is. That way we can get our valve through. There we go. Just like that. Got an X where our valve stem goes. And then it's simple as just putting it all back together. And from there you go. You got it fixed. After that, you really don't have to worry about punctures coming through the rim strip anymore. This stuff is going to last pretty close to the life of the bike, realistically. So, best way to fix that, just throw some Gorilla Tape or duct tape over it. Gorilla Tape, I feel like, works really well, sticks really well on there. And once you inflate this guy, it's going to help push that Gorilla Tape in there, stick it completely down. So, after that, pretty simple. Throw your tire back on, throw a tube in it, and let's inflate it. And there you go, back on the bike, ready for you to keep on riding all throughout the summer. Really kind of a simple solution to something that will throw you off pretty bad if you don't know what's going on for the first while. Makes you go through quite a bit of tubes, quite a bit of patch repairs, just trying to figure out what the heck is going on with your bike. So, hopefully that helps some of you guys throughout this summer as the weather warms up and you start getting weird flat tires. You don't quite understand why, and it only happens when your bike is in the sun. That is your solution there. Save yourself some money, make it nice and easy. Make that a almost permanent repair that you don't have to worry about for the rest of your time riding the bike. Big difference. Something I do to any bike that starts to get problems with that, just throw some Gorilla Tape in there right off the bat, fix that problem. Then I know if there's a puncture and the tire goes flat, it's from something external, not from internal. So, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video, or maybe you learned something new today. If you did, give this video a big thumbs up. I appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Love talking to you guys. Love answering questions you guys have. And I will see you in the next video. Thanks for watching today.